Counter-Narrative News, bringing you daily news today on Tuesday, the 7th of March, 2023. Going to the Democratic Republic of Congo, on a recent visit there, President of France, Emmanuel Macron, has postured like he is there to defend the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the DRC in relation to the widely reported infiltration and looting and conducting violent assaults on the people of DRC by the Rwandan state in the form of its M23 death squads. Emmanuel Macron is on a tour of Africa trying to reassert French neo-colonial interests there in a defensive posture, as several African states, particularly those with right-wing capitalist military juntas, have allied with the similarly right-wing white nationalist leadership in Moscow in pursuit of their right-wing capitalist and violent agenda. On the part of the Congolese president, Tshisekedi, he has been demanding that France puts sanctions on Rwanda because of Rwanda's support for destabilization, violence and bloodshed and looting in Congo. Macron responds to saying he would like to see how the talks go that have been brokered first by Kenya, Nairobi, and more recently in Rwanda by Angola, to see what the outcomes of that is before he considers putting any kind of sanctions on Rwanda. However, the leader of the Justice in Action movement, Emmanuel Mabanguta, who represents a grassroots radical movement of Congolese people defending the independence of DRC vis-a-vis the infiltration of the Rwanda-backed M23 death squads, argues that actually Macron is absolutely hypocritical and fundamentally wrong, that how dare he come to Congo and not support the rightful and primary demands of the Congolese people in attempting to eject the M23 militia out of Congo and then to push back Rwanda in that framework. So really the struggle of the people of the DRC has been going on for many decades now, for several decades, in terms of its destabilization. The land in Congo has some of the most richest mineral wealth pertaining to the new technological industries of computers and smartphones, etc., of coltan and cobalt and other mineral resources. And also it's interesting the kind of nationalist defensive posture in defending DRC integrity by Tshisekedi himself, because he followed the younger Kabila's presidential rule, and Tshisekedi was largely seen as a more pro-Western incumbent leader of DRC than the previous Kabila. But because of the relationship here between DRC and Rwanda, Tshisekedi also has to be seen, at least to be seen to be making the right type of comments vis-a-vis the situation in relation to his people, Rwanda, and also the senior partners, let's call them, in French neocolonialism and others in Europe colonizing powers. Going over to China, very interesting comments from the leadership there. Xi Jinping he very rarely actually explicitly comments on the US in a critical manner, but he has done, arguing, quote, Western countries led by the US have implemented all-round containment, encirclement and suppression against us, bringing unprecedentedly severe challenges to our country's development, end of quote. And also the new foreign minister of China, Qin Gang, has also made some similar comments in trying to push back the what definitely seems like an approach and framework of increasing the militarism and war rhetoric vis-a-vis, particularly led by the US and also with the UK and often Australia trailing there as well. So the new foreign minister Qin Gang has argued against the US behavior towards China, has reiterated the importance of China's strategic relationship with Russia. This is all very interesting and fascinating. Arguably, it was the moment when the Ukraine conflict started a year ago that China and perhaps Iran and others as well well, should have taken the opportunity really to carve out its own independent, non-aligned strategic course to attain benefits for itself in all of these dynamics. As it turns out, and the question is why, did China then decide to play second fiddle, a junior, inferior role to Moscow in that regards, and similarly with Tehran as well, playing a similarly inferiorized, internalizing its inferiority complex vis-a-vis Moscow. As it stands, it's probably quite foolish of China to have tagged themselves so closely onto Moscow in so doing, and now they are in the situation that they are, in a very panicky, defensive posture in relation to growing threats from the West. When it comes to global South states and former colonized states defending themselves, they have to employ strategic, sophisticated ways in which to push back Western attempts at domination and hegemony. Very much so, with the size of the state and the economic and the political military capacity of states like China and absolutely Russia as well, and also Iran in many ways, they do have a lot of strategic paths and hands to play, which they've decided not to, and instead gone into this quite self-defeating type of course. Nevertheless, war is against the interests of the masses of the world, and we should be campaigning against the ratcheting up of conflict vis-a-vis the West and China. Finally, going over to Palestine, the white settler state of Israel has yet again, as it does for the last decade, many times a year, has bombed Syria, and in this case, it's the main airport in Aleppo, which has been put out of operation. Many commentators are saying, yet again, this is the Moscow leadership and Putin having facilitated and giving this setup for Israel to allow it to bomb Syria. Moscow has also collaborated with leading NATO nations, not least Turkey, in partitioning Syria and basically inviting NATO countries to occupy the north. There's over 1,000 US troops embedded with militia there in northern Syria. Leading NATO power Turkey occupies the Idlib province there as well, to which Putin has come to an accommodation with. And also on another side of the region in Armenia, Russia has dumped Armenia and is playing off Azerbaijan and Armenia. Israel is coming into a deeper partnership with Azerbaijan in a joint project with Turkey in that regards. So you can see in all of this how the Palestinian, the Syrian, the Iraq is still occupied by Turkish troops, Iraqi and Iranian peoples are all being failed by this joint project of, despite the antagonisms and contradiction, there definitely is a joint project between NATO, Russia and Israel as it pertains to these people and countries. That was Counter-Narrative News. We do hope you enjoyed that and found it of benefit. Please do continue bringing your criticisms, feedback. Please do continue to share our videos, like and comment, and do encourage your contacts to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Counter_CNN. We wish you a fantastic day. Thank you.